This must be the craziest shit of all. Why teach? Why do I teach? Seriously, why do I teach? Me, I grew up, I was going to be a millionaire for inventing something, being a fantastic scientist, an inventor, an athlete, something, but not a teacher. It wasn't going to happen. I liked my teachers. I had a lot of respect for them, but most students didn't respect teachers. And being a teacher is a lot of work, and you don't get paid very much. And you have to deal with parents, and you have to deal with other students. And no, it was not the life for me. Well, anyway, I went to college, and my junior year came around, and I didn't know what to do with my life. And I'm thinking, oh boy, what am I going to do? So I went to the career office, and at the career office, I came across the Peace Corps. And I was very interested in the Peace Corps. I can go overseas. I can meet new people. I can have some great, cool experiences. I didn't know what I would do in the Peace Corps. There were lots of different jobs available. So I just applied, and I told them what I could do. One of the things I said I could do was carpentry. I said many things I could do. Carpentry was one of those skills, because I had done some carpentry in high school and in college. In high school, I was the technical director for all the school productions. And both in high school and college, I had built some things and sold them. I was somewhat competent as a carpenter, but not qualified to teach. I mean, I had trouble pounding a nail in straight sometimes. Well, anyway, Peace Corps got back to me. They said they accepted me, and they wanted me to be a teacher of carpentry to middle school students in Bamenda, Cameroon. Bamenda, Cameroon. And okay. I was like, okay, I didn't really mean that I was a carpenter when I said I had carpentry skills, and I didn't really think I could teach, but the Peace Corps said I could do it, so I said, okay, I'll do it. Butterflies, butterflies, butterflies. So I was really kind of nervous, but I studied. I bought books, and I read, and I learned about carpentry. I didn't get any practical skills. I just learned vocabulary, basically. And I went to Bamenda, which was a fantastic city. I loved living there. People were great. The scenery was amazing. And I was ready to go. So the Peace Corps, the first time I taught was some students in 5th and 6th grade. Peace Corps brought in some students for to help the volunteers train to teach, to learn to teach, because most of the volunteers had never taught before. So they gave us some basic training: how to begin a class, how to do the middle of the class, how to end a class, how to handle discipline, things like that. They said you have to be very disciplined with the students. You can't have fun with the kids. But I like to have fun. First thing I did in the class was tell jokes, and my class got completely out of control. Well, and I tried to have discipline in the class. I never really could, and the classes always got out of control. But in the end, the students did learn some things. I taught them some division skills, so I taught them some basic long division, I think. And it was fun, and I thought, I'm ready to go. So off I went to my new school, the Government Technical High School of Bamenda. It was a vocational school. I was teaching carpentry here. And this is the front of the school, and I'll never forget. On the very first day here, all the students are lined up, and all the faculty, and the principal of the school introduces me. Here is Bradley Arnold, the Peace Corps volunteer, who is going to teach carpentry to our middle school students. And everyone is applauding for me, and I'm okay. Hi, hello, and I turn around, and boom, ow! I hit the sign that had the name of the school on it. It was a metal sign, rusty, and I hit the edge, and right here across my eye. Put a big gash in my eye, and the whole day I had blood dripping down my face. Now we go to the next picture here. You see they've changed the sign since then. If I was to walk into the sign, it would be full body, not just my head. If you were to feel this, there's still a scar going across here. It's some really hard skin. So I was wondering if that was an omen of things to come. Well, anyway, the first thing that everyone knew about me was that I was clumsy. Note for future at the end of this video here. Well, anyway, here is my classroom, or a building that looked like my classroom at the school. You'll notice the windows, there is no glass in the windows, just shutters, so you have a choice. Close the shutters and get really hot, or open the shutters and have wind blowing through and have papers flying about. Your choice. Here's a picture of students walking into the classroom. Usually there was one head boy who would lead all the students into the classroom. I would depend on the head boy for attendance and certain bureaucratic type matters. I could always call him up and say, hey, I need some help or whatever. This was what my desk looked like, and my chair, and the blackboard behind. Take a look at the blackboard. It's cement, just painted cement. When you used the chalk, you went through chalk really quickly on this blackboard. And the school only gave you one box of chalk per term, so you had to be really stingy in how you use your chalk, or you had to go buy your own chalk. This was another classroom, like another classroom where I taught. That blackboard was made out of plywood, and here you didn't run through chalk so quickly, but it was very difficult to clean the plywood. So really the only way to clean the plywood was just to put a fresh coat of paint over it. I had fun teaching. These are not my students, of course, but this is basically what one of my classes would have looked like. And I had fun teaching. Discipline was always a problem because I always like to tell jokes. They like to laugh at my jokes. What could I do? No one else laughs at my jokes. See, are you laughing? See, I didn't think so. Anyway, I had fun. And discipline was a problem, and sometimes I had to get other teachers to come in and help me get the class under control. But slowly but surely, I built up trust with the students, and they learned the difference between fun time and work time, study time and talk time. They figured out the difference and how to mix the two properly. And eventually, we had a really good chemistry going. We learned how to have fun and study at the same time. I'll never forget, about a year later, receiving a letter from one of my students thanking me for the biggest lesson I taught him was that learning could be fun. I'll never forget that letter. It was such an impactful letter. Really helped encourage me to go on teaching. Again, these are not my students, but you get the idea. We had a good time. If we had iPhones back then, we could do selfies. We would have taken one of these pictures. I promise you this. Well, anyway, not only having fun made teaching great, having a view like this, can you imagine looking out your classroom and looking at this every day? Amazing, amazing. Well, that's pretty much why I became a teacher. But to continue on being a teacher, I needed to always kind of have some reaffirmation. Reaffirmation, is that the right word? Encouragement to continue. So on this picture behind me, you can see like some thank you notes and some things that I get from students. And it was sometimes they would just give it to me out of the blue, not just at the end of the year, just suddenly I would get a letter from them. Or maybe a couple years later, they would give me something, thanking me, and how I made a difference in their life. And that just really made me feel good and nice. And one thing that followed me throughout the years was my clumsiness. Here, one year, the students, they honored me for my clumsiness, giving me the award for most clumsy in the class. So I seem to have that issue.